Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today we're going to be talking about something factually serious, specifically with the current allegations that are going against Russell Brands. There's talks of Noel Fielding, obviously. I do want to say that I find it very weird that a lot of obviously conservatives are supporting Russell Brand, saying that he's innocent, even though there have been multiple accounts and it has been registered in sort of public history, if you must, that he has been with people of underage, and this is all being swept under the rug by all the Ben Shapiro's of the world, really, and other people who claim that they are protecting the children. People tend to play favorites. Obviously, there's been allegations going back to the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard case, and there's been enough evidence for both ends that they were in a very, very toxic relationship. But instead of people acknowledging that they were both in the wrong, or maybe Amber was more in the wrong, Johnny Depp was more in the wrong, it's kind of split specifically in the current Me Too dynamics, where people think that if a victim is a woman, then obviously she should be believed. And at the same time, I understand that there was some momentum which just showcased that everyone can be a victim. But I don't see, for instance, people calling out Kevin Spacey as much. Specifically, the fact that there has been even more victims of Kevin Spacey who are men who show up and etc. People tend to sort of hoard these cases when specifically the woman is the victim, and a lot of people who support Amber Heard and etc. tend to sort of flock to this idea that only women can be victims. And obviously that is not the case, because men can be victims, women can be victims to other women, since that's sort of the gospel truth that people tend to flock to. Then obviously you have the other side of the coin, where you go with people feel like anyone who kind of goes to talk about certain celebs is kind of following a certain blueprint, as if every male celeb is getting sort of tracked down like Johnny Depp or Marilyn Manson's case. Obviously, I do have to say that just like everyone else, I don't go reading into very, 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 very fine details, specifically in complex cases. There are things that I will not understand, there are things that I might get wrong. But this video is more about to show the hypocrisy on every side, factually. So for instance, I stand with Marilyn Manson. I have, in the beginning I felt doubtful, I wanted to see more evidence, and I'm still open to the fact that maybe I'm wrong and there will be some evidence shown in my face. It can happen. Then, that kind of led me a few weeks back to discuss with some people in the Marilyn Manson subreddit who were saying that like Russell Brand's getting attacked, which is another blueprint of people accusing random male celebrities just to accuse. And they were saying that it's the same thing, like Johnny Depp, Marilyn Manson, Till Lindemann, and now it's Russell Brand. And this is where I really disagree. In regards to Rammstein's frontman, Till, I understand that all charges were dropped. Factually, I never got a good vibe of him. There have been stories, obviously, around him, and I don't want to say that I don't think he's guilty. But I just think that there needed to be a further investigation in that case. But obviously, no one had proof, from what I understand, and the cases were dropped. The situation is a bit more complicated. Manson's case, when it comes to Russell Brand, there is a lot of evidence plastered everywhere. And I also wanted to point this out that if you have a fave that does something problematic, it's fine to just literally drop them. You don't have to defend them. And yes, we can be nostalgic towards certain things. Like, I enjoyed Russell Brand's comedy career back in the day. I just like men with long hair and makeup. That's as easy as it goes. So, obviously, once he went to this right wing pipeline, I just completely forgot about it. And now I see that, for instance, he dated Bob Geldof's daughter, both Peaches and Pixie, if I'm not mistaken, at different times. Bob Geldof did call him out, and this is also swept under the rug. So I don't like this pattern that people have, like, for instance, if that now people think that there's a witch hunt against all male celebrities, and I don't think that's the case. And maybe because I'm a psychologist, or maybe I just have the opinion that every case should be seen differently. Some people are innocent, some people are not innocent. There isn't a blueprint or a big conspiracy to sort of reveal everyone as bad or reveal everyone as good. So that needs to be taken in consideration. I feel like these two conflicts kind of butt each other's heads. You kind of have the extreme sort of deniers, and you have the extreme feminists who sort of really parrot radical feminist ideology. And also, I wanted to point out, last but not least, since we're talking about TERFs, I found this one really interesting, specifically since I mentioned Noel Fielding. He was, as everyone probably knows, he was in the IT Crowd, which was a comedy show quite a few years back, made by Graham Lynham. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the surname. And he has been under the negative light of being a transphobe. And then some reviews came out about his autobiography. And one of the reviews was by Richard Aoyade. Again, I really hope I'm not butchering surnames. Who said that it's brave for someone to come out and show how damaging cancel culture is. And that somehow ended up with everyone being in this disbelief about Richard. I really kind of never cared much about his work. I knew he was in the IT Crowd. Obviously, I watched Submarine as an Arctic Monkeys fan. But to me, he always felt like someone who's just there and someone who I didn't give a second thought about. I was discussing this with my partner, and he was saying that he always gave him off vibes, specifically with the fact that the dynamics in Submarine are really weird, and the fact that certain things that are truth in Submarine are taken, which are very problematic, made him, think that fella isn't the greatest person on earth. I just really saw Richard Aoyade sort of just there, like an NPC. I never gave him much thought. So that's also another example of people being in disbelief of what's going on, sort of saying he can't do this, because obviously we project onto the people we idolize or the people who we like. And it is a very sudden change when we realize the reality that they might not be who we think they are, or the public image they show is different. So it's quite an interesting discussion of dynamics and etc. And obviously, there's been talks about Noel Fielding getting called out. Um, there's obviously talks that he had cheated on a previous girlfriend, as far as I understand. And in general, that he hasn't been a good person. To be honest, I did enjoy Noel Fielding back in the day. Not as much. I did enjoy The Mighty Boosh on my first watch, then I decided to rewatch it with my partner, and I was just not feeling it. So that's pretty much all the big history, I guess. But I did not watch the episode at the time where Noel Fielding is transphobic, so obviously it does make sense to me that he's not a very tolerant person, to put the least, and considering that he's friends with Graham Lynham, I feel like it's the same thing. And obviously people are sort of trying to fight back because they Noel Fielding is actually very beloved in the BBC and outside. He has quite a dedicated fan base, and I do understand that it's probably going to be harder for people to accept his wrongdoings than it is, for instance, Russell Brand, who has fallen from grace God knows how many years ago. And also, it has to be said that Noel Fielding and Russell Brand were friends at the time, and they were doing sort of similar illegal shenanigans there. That's all. In general, I really want to encourage people to sort of think for themselves, sort of analyze every situation as its own thing, because that's how it should be. We don't judge people in broad strokes. So yeah, so I'm really, I wouldn't say I'm curious to see how everything comes out, but obviously I think that Russell Brand is guilty, Noel Fielding is guilty from what I see, and when it comes to the rest, we'll see if more things come out or not. But yeah, also it's obviously shout out to all the conservatives who are defending Russell Brand and saying that trans people are groomers. Really liking that about it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really over-contoured myself today, which was funny because I was like, yeah, I'll quickly do this and then I'll repeat it tomorrow for work. So I'll need to be very, very light-handed because I had to shear it out to infinity. Thank you very much for watching. If you stayed this long, please like this video. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe. Leave a comment, feel free to buy me a coffee, and again, thank you very much.